Alrighty then. This was submitted by Sahilios. Who knows who that is? But thank you for the submission. In the bottom right, we'll call him the hero because we know him. It is UpATree. In the top left, going for what looks to be a proxy. Oh yeah, it's Cannon Rush. It is the blue Protoss, Samuel, who is also a pig fan. It seems like these guys have played before, talking about void rays and stuff. They know how the sound levels are. So, I guess what happened last time, one more thing, is that there were some void rays last time they played, but now it's going to be a cannon rush, so exchanging one Protoss shenanigans for another. With 2 probes, it's going to be tricky, and no knowledge that this is happening. Finally sees the second probe, but this is always bad news, you know? You don't want them to have the high ground, but they're gonna have a cannon low ground breaking your high ground anyways. This cannon's gonna stop these guys from breaking it. Best case scenario, you get a Marine, because Marines, they build faster, that's the word, they build faster, and you try and kind of juggle everything going on here, until you have enough Marines to stop them from advancing. Losing the supply depot is really not the biggest deal, as long as you can get that probe. Which he actually gets the probe, which is actually, that's a problem for Samuel, who did not get the other probe up here. It died, or left, or I'm not even sure. It died, yeah. So that's not a great start, really. Or rather, it's a good start for UpATree. It depends on who you're cheering for. Sounds good, cool. So yeah, he might lose a couple SCVs like so, but not too bad. 6 SCVs went down. Maybe that could have been 4 in a more ideal world here. 2 supply depot was also going to go down. Again, maybe in an ideal world you save that supply depot. I believe 2 SCVs out repairs a cannon, just to get out repairs the lings on it. Which might be worth the mineral loss. I'm not sure on the math on it. But with the pylon down, this will lose sight of the high ground, or not, because Samuel sends a 3rd probe, and that's dangerous stuff to do against 2 Marines, who will reshot it, looks like. And that was just simply not worth it. Behind this, Samuel goes for a gateway and a nexus, and this significantly delays your technology. But the same could kind of be said for UpATree, who does decide to go for a factory. You can try and pull off the gas even sooner, even more, and actually go for a command center, but considering that this is still happening, it's a good thing that he didn't do that. Probe here is trying to be very cheeky, very awkward. Yeah, it's not gonna hold, not gonna last. But you still want to go ahead and get a command center after this factory. I don't think you really want to go all the way to a starport, but it's certainly an option. They're gonna have defense against Banshees, I think, if they go straight to a robo, but it won't be... It'll be difficult to maybe deal with like a Hellion run by, or some Cyclones, or anything else that can come along with a true 1-1-1, which actually seems to be UpATree's plan. I feel like his original plan was to actually expand, because he took a guy off of gas, or maybe just simply did not ever put one on. But I couldn't tell if this was a mistake or not, because if you're going to go into a true 1-1-1, especially if you're going to go up to Banshees, I do believe you need both gases fully saturated. Or you're going to be, you know, either sacrificing the factory or the starport to make it work. But it seems very intentional. It was 1, and then slowly became 2, and then he just actually stopped rallying, so... Maybe perhaps this has been a response from him in the past, or perhaps this is actually the game they played previously when I was talking about void rays, because when we have following up the cannons, we have double Stargate. So maybe this is something that UpATree's actually been working on. Very odd, but if he's having trouble against, you know, cannons into Stargate, then it's great to have a lot of practice against it, right? I don't think it's really that popular. UpATree is, well, now he's like, I don't know how much more MMR above me, but when I was actually practicing Terran and playing fairly well, he was like the same MMR as me. Okay, well then, that's a choice. That's a choice. That's gonna be a Viking popping out here. The Viking is kind of a silly, like a weird thing, because I don't have any previous information about these guys playing other than the chat they just had with each other in the beginning of the game. So they played before. I don't know if it exactly looked like this, but the Viking could be used on the ground. If you're just like, you just want units to attack with, which can happen like this. This is actually a legitimate tactic even on 2 bases. There's a build like this, but if he's up against someone he knows is going to go into Void Rays, and the Viking obviously makes sense for that as well. The Viking can ideally out micro the Void Ray. Or the Marines can help as well. That's also a thing. Void Ray is going to skedaddle. Go back to a nice safe shield battery, and Samuel does have a pretty good hold here. The cannon, shield battery, and double pumped production. The Oracle does seem a little bit useless, but the Viking now doing extra damage to the Oracle. It really isn't a great option against this type of push anymore. Again, not usually on 1 base, but there were definitely some 2 base variations with like 3 or 4 SCVs pulled. The Void Array doing a little bit better, but a lot because the shield battery is helping out. If the shield battery runs out of juice, then the Void is going to have a lot tougher of a time. I think the 2nd shield battery is definitely called for, and even the 3rd, which is actually what's happening right now. Samuel, perhaps being in this position before, he's got to figure his opponent's on 1 base, and I think he did. Yeah, he definitely saw the SCVs with the Oracle diving in like it did, so he knows it's dedicated. And with him having 2 bases and fully saturated at that, he needs to stop producing probes, I would say. This actually feels so much better for the Protoss if the Protoss was actually doing everything correctly. But unfortunately for him, it's not being done super correctly. We got a lot of minerals and gas in the bank. We have the Void Ray taking actual hull damage when ideally it just never does. I think the Tempest transition is great. I think being on 2 bases fully saturated is fantastic. And I think this could be a win from him, but it could all come down to the cannons dying here, the Void Rays, or rather the Tempest not being as fast as they maybe could have been. I mean, God, 5 more shield letters on the way. 500 extra minerals to do that. Whew. The Tempests are already out. I mean, they could have been up against 1 Viking. Not that 2 is that much more difficult to deal with, especially when you have shield batteries. You're going to need the 2 Vikings and the Cyclone to pop off on any one of these units. It does grab the Voider, but that was already very weak. Here comes the Tempest next. 2nd Tempest pops in the nick of time here, but no Vikings have actually gone down here. The SCV is doing a wonderful job repairing. A bit surprisingly, they do not repair the Cyclone, however, which just finally go down. The retargeting from Samuel was a good idea. And those shield batteries in the back finishing up as well makes this much more difficult for Samuel. Terrence should build a PF here. I mean, absolutely. Look at the bank for UpATree. Damn, man. Just kidding. Probably not a great idea. 3 Tempests now. Oh, no! Oh, that was the only pylon powering that. Oh, my God. He actually did not realize that. I didn't realize that. There's so many pylons around, but they're all on the edges of the base as opposed to powering these damn Stargates. 5 Tempests would be a beautiful position to be in, but instead only stuck at the 3. They are still taking care of things, though. The Vikings have gone down, the Marines have gone down, and of course the tanks will fall afterwards. And what does UpATree do after this? He hasn't touched the economy. This has got to be a big ol' L for our streamer boy here. Right? Right? Is this real UpATree? I believe it is real UpATree. I don't think the fake UpATree is going to have his replays submitted, but I could be wrong. Could be accessible on a like drop SC. Well, pylon or no pylon doesn't really seem to matter. I really don't see how UpATree makes this work from his 1 base position. I mean, keep in mind he's Terran, so he could lift and saturate over here, or actually expand. Well, that's a very late expansion. And Tempests are still fast flyy boys, so. Oh, no shield batteries. There we go. They dip back a little bit there. But, you know, 4th Temp is going to come out soon. It would have really been nice to have 5. I think that would definitely one-shot that Cyclone, but it is what it is. Oh, he does have a 2nd Stargate. Up here? Wait. Oh, back there. Huh? I'm blind. And now I was working on what looks to be charge lots as the most natural follow-up in this position would be Bio, just because it's the cheapest thing to do. I mean, I think against, you know, only Tempests, a factory starport composition would work. But, like, you know, get the Cyclone upgrade and get Vikings off a reactor might actually work. But it's going to be rather expensive to do that when he wasn't even fully saturated on his 1 base for a while. It's only just recently gotten to 16 SCVs and only recently lost some mineral patches. But Bio is certainly a cheaper way to go. More maneuverable as well. Try and maybe catch those Tempests out of position. But the charge lots are going to help on that grounds, and they're going to have maybe not ideally +1 attack. Almost always, if you're thinking about charge lots, you're thinking about armor, just to get them to swipe as many times as possible. But yeah, I mean, whatever. The point is they're going to be upgraded, and UpATree is not going to be upgraded. He's going to have stim and combat shields. Thank God stim is 21 seconds faster, but not going to have a ton of units to combat what is now 3 Tempests at a time. I mean, he's got to hope his Marines actually fall underneath those Tempests, which are now busting into his main base. They should probably go for the tech lab. They don't see it. The one Oracle that was made did die, and I'm not sure it was actually thought about in terms of revealing. It was thought about dealing with the Marines more so. But there he goes now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that is combat shields, which is still a faster upgrade even with Stim's haste now. But oh yeah, there goes Stim. There it goes. It's dead. And a quick recall out. That makes sense. It's possible that UpATree actually had 5 or even 7 Vikings, I suppose, and that would have lost him a Tempest or 2 if he didn't recall immediately. It was only 3, but certainly better safe than sorry. Widow Mines could also play a huge factor. No detection right now, no Robo, no Oracle. With Oracles getting one shot by Widow Mines, it's not really, I don't know, it's not really ideal to use Oracles as your observer against Widow Mines. So that could play a big part. You know, the speed upgrade that Tempest got, the speed buff, I should say, that they got, because the Void Rays are the ones that have the speed upgrade. The speed buff that Tempest got was at the takeaway of their health or the shields, whichever one. The point is, they die a lot quicker. And Widow Mines, they literally pop off. And if the Tempest clump like they kind of naturally do, look at that. Look at that clump. They could have clumped more. It's how you would. That could be a lot of damage. Not so worried about the Zealots. The Zealots are like, meh. There's 7 Zealots. How much are they really going to help? But they are upgraded. Stim and combat shields are not done. No Marauders slow to even try and help out against the Zealots. And now we have Proxy Archons. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something? Proxy Archons. Where's streamers' cam? I don't show the cam when I'm casting. All the big streamers usually leave their cam up. You mean like Winter and Pig? I'm not sure Loco does. Does Loco? I haven't watched his cast in a while. Well, if the big streamers do it, then I should obviously be doing it. I don't want to do it. Just that's the answer, dude. Oh. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, gee. Oh, no. Oh, geez. I got another shot, too. 23 probes just died when I was talking to chat. Shit. Oh, and what? Wait, what? That's what happened? That's the end of this game? Are you kidding me? Ah. I mean, he's right. I don't think he wins the shield batteries and Archons and shit, but I thought there was gonna be some epic battle and some epic comeback, but there's not. Yeah, okay. GG. Samuel, man. I would say he had kind of a failed cannon rush and it still wins, but I really don't know about UpATree's response. I would love to know.